next on BG24 News.
The Bowling Green community is mourning the loss of one of its own. See how BGSU is honoring the memory of a student.
Plus, there was a high-speed chase Friday morning on Interstate 75. We'll tell you more about this dangerous pursuit.
The Board of Trustees at Bowling Green State University approved spending for a popular building on campus. Find out which one.
Plus, a look at your Black Swamp weather forecast and BG24 sports. Welcome to your campus and community connection.
Wood County's live local news starts right now. This is BG24 News, live at 5:30.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Lucas Stahl.
And I'm Megan Gallagher. Our top story tonight. BGSU is grieving the loss of senior Mark Bortz. Reporter Madeline Fenning has the latest on the student that died too soon.
Police are investigating the death of 22-year-old BGSU student Mark Bortz. Mark was found collapsed around 7:30 p.m. on Sunday after apparently going out for a run. Area residents of South Summit and Carr Avenue found Mark Bortz somewhere on the sidewalk in this general area. One of the residents proceeded to give him CPR until police arrived on the scene. Mark was then transported to the Wood County Hospital, where he was declared dead. The next day, hundreds of students, faculty, and family members gathered for a candlelight vigil. The vigil was held in the School of Art courtyard, an appropriate location to honor the 3D Studies major. Supporters of Mark shared candles, condolences, and stories reminiscent of his spirit for life. Pictures of Mark were assembled on multiple boards that visitors were encouraged to sign. Terrence Ray, a former co-worker and friend, explained the outpour of support reveals the large community of people that Mark had influenced.
I was astounded. I anticipated, I knew that he touched a lot of people, but to come out and see the courtyard literally filled with no space in there, it was breathtaking. And I know that the family really was comforted by the amount of people that showed up to show their respect and show their love for him.
While Mark's death was unexpected, the large crowd shows that his memory will continue to glow at BGSU. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Madeline Fenning.
The funeral for Bortz is Saturday.
A high-speed pursuit involving 3 law enforcement agencies occurred last week. It happened when a driver refused to pull over. Reporter Matt Dunbar has the story.
A drunk driver led law enforcement officers on a high-speed chase last Friday morning.
Approximately 4 in the morning, Perrysburg Township Police Department advised they were attempting to stop a suspect for a traffic violation, and they had started to lose sight of the suspect around State Route 582 and 75 here.
When the suspect was later spotted going southbound on I-75, the Ohio State Highway Patrol took over.
My officers located the suspect farther south around the 181 and checked their speed at about 99 miles an hour. And there we attempted to initiate a traffic stop, and the suspect continued to flee in his motor vehicle, exited at US 6 and continued eastbound on US 6.
On Route 6 at Ohio 199, a Wood County Sheriff's deputy used road spikes to deflate the left front tire of the vehicle and slow it down to about 50 miles an hour.
The suspect still continued to flee, continued going through several county roads, and ultimately ended up stopping on a county road.
After stopping his vehicle, the suspect fled to a nearby field. There, he was arrested without altercation. The suspect was identified as 29-year-old Michael C. George of Toledo.
He was charged with fleeing and eluding, failure to obey a law enforcement officer, operating a vehicle under the influence of alcohol, and he was ultimately incarcerated.
The half-an-hour-long chase landed George in the Wood County Justice Center over the weekend. He was set to be arraigned in the Bowling Green Municipal Court February 25th. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Matt Dunbar.
Sergeant Robertson says that George's blood alcohol content was 0.113. The legal limit in the state of Ohio is 0.08.
And more changes are coming to campus. Bowling Green State University officials approved renovations for the Student Recreation Center. The total cost is almost $13.5 million. The renovations include upgrades to the weight training area and to the track. More available parking spaces are also being added. The renovations begin in August.
And now Heather Pauloff joins us outside of West Hall with our first look at your Black Swamp weather. Heather, please tell me that the rain and wind is almost over.
Thanks, Lucas. We're outside right now, and as you can see, it is raining. The temperature is above 32 degrees, but that doesn't mean that some of the rain is freezing as it hits some surfaces outside, because it does feel like 23 degrees out here. Stay tuned, and I'll give you my full Black Swamp weather forecast.
Now, Wood County's live local forecast with BG24 Black Swamp weather.
Good evening, Wood County. I'm weathercaster Heather Pauloff here with your current conditions. Currently, we're sitting at about 34 degrees, and that is a little bit above freezing right now. So it is raining out there, but some of the surfaces above the ground are they do have frozen surfaces. As the rain hits, it is freezing, although it is coming down as liquid. And it does feel like 23 degrees out there, so that's another reason that it is very cold out there. For tonight's forecast, it is going to stay about in the low to mid 30s, with the rain and snow mix continuing all through the night. The winds will be out of the east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour, keeping it relatively cold. For tomorrow night's forecast, it'll be about 38 degrees, with that rain and snow mix still continuing. From this storm, we should see about an inch of slushy accumulation, so not too much. The main issue with this storm is slippery conditions, with that rain freezing as it hits the ground. Winds will be shifting from the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, so those temperatures will be increasing because of those winds out of the south. For tomorrow night's forecast, we will be dipping down to about 30 degrees. Some spotty snow showers, with those winds shifting again from the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So with those northwest winds, the temperature will be dropping back down. Chance of snow about 80%. And taking a look at our national precipitation right now, as you can see, the storm system is coming out from about Texas, the Texas region. We do have rain in the central Ohio region, but as we see, the snow is coming in from Lake Michigan and from the Chicago area, and through the night that will be pushing its way toward Bowling Green and Toledo. However, with the temperatures staying above freezing, we won't really be seeing much snow, more ice and rain than anything else. And as you can see, a closer look, Toledo is experiencing some snow-rain mix, but down in Bowling Green, since it is warmer down here, we're mostly seeing rain showers for now. And as you can see with our temperatures, we have a front down here. We do have this warm front that's being pushed upward, which is why, part of the reason why that we'll be seeing some of these temperatures increasing. However, behind that, we will be seeing a cold front, so after the warm spell within the next day or two, we will definitely be seeing a drop in those temperatures. But as you can see right now, Toledo and just west of Toledo, we see freezing conditions, which is why that snow is coming down instead of rain. But here in Bowling Green, we're just sitting at 34 degrees, so it is raining because it is above freezing. And taking a look at our 5-day forecast, for tomorrow, we will be seeing those rain and snow showers continuing, maybe some freezing rain mixed in there as well, so just be careful if you're out there on any slick roads or anything like that. Thursday, we will be seeing those spotty snow showers. However, on Friday, it will be, like I said, it will be dipping down to the low 30s. However, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that sun will be coming out, and so it'll be a really nice weekend. It will be cold, though.
Well, thank you, Heather. A BGSU sorority Alpha Chi Omega hosted a rape and suicide prevention talk over the weekend. Reporter Danielle Griffith was there.
Alpha Chi Omega sorority hosted Andrea Cooper here at BGSU to tell the story of a daughter, Kristen Cooper, who committed suicide in 1995 after being raped by an acquaintance. Though there are many Greek letter organizations here at BGSU, sorority Alpha Chi Omega has made their stamp here against domestic violence. Mother Andrea Cooper said her daughter was an active 20-year-old college student and Alpha Chi Omega member at Baker University in Baldwin City, Kansas, when she was raped at a party she attended with friends. 4 months later, Andrea Cooper and her husband returned home on New Year's Eve to find their daughter in the family room, dead from a self-inflicted gun wound.
About halfway there, it looked like she wasn't breathing.
As a mother, she made the difficult decision to share her daughter's tragedy with college students all over the nation. Alpha Chi Omega alumni and mother, Josie Fishbach, is one of the many touched personally by Kristen's story.
I am an alum of Alpha Chi Omega here at Bowling Green. My daughter Morgan is also. currently in Alpha Chi Omega. After hearing Kristen's story and also attending college, I've had personal experience with friends that have had acquaintance rape.
After her death, Kristen's friends informed her mother that after she was raped, it led to the breakup of her boyfriend, which drove her into deep depression, exhibiting signs such as fatigue, loss of concentration, and a lack of interest, which no one noticed.
BGSU Counseling Center offers a variety of services when it comes to suicide prevention and awareness. We do a significant amount of outreach across campus. Students and faculty can request that outreach through our website. We'll come out to the site weekends, evenings, and during the day.
By telling Kristen's story, she hopes that lives will be saved. In return, a standing ovation for her bravery and information given. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Danielle Griffith.
Counselors are available to help. The BGSU Counseling Center is open from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. There are also walk-in hours from 1:30 p.m. until 4. You can reach the center during regular business hours at 419-372-2081.
People illegally sharing media may soon receive warning notices from their internet providers. The film and recording industries have enacted the Copyright Alert System. It's intended to discourage illegal file sharing. Under the system, internet providers will alert customers caught illegally sharing media. Customers will be warned up to 6 times before having their internet connection slowed down. Officials say that the program is meant to educate rather than to punish. They also admit it is unlikely to stop major offenders. Internet service providers participating in the program include AT&T, Verizon, and Time Warner Cable. Coming up next.
A crash at Daytona Speedway left many spectators injured Saturday.
Plus, highlights from the Falcon games last weekend. Stay with us.
It's un-Falcon believable coverage that you won't get anywhere else. This is BG24 Sports.
Welcome back. On Saturday, many spectators piled into Daytona Speedway to watch the Nationwide Series NASCAR race. Little did they know that they would be witness to one of the most dangerous crashes in sports history. And now joining us, Lauren Downey is here to talk about the crash and what spectators can do to protect themselves when attending these sports events. Hello, Lauren. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right, this past weekend, can you give us a brief summary of the events that took place?
Sure. In Saturday's nationwide event, which is compared to like what the minor leagues would be for baseball, for the up-and-comers in the sport, as well as, but at Daytona, it's a little bit different. You have a lot of mainstream NASCAR Sprint Cup Series drivers come down and join that festivity. So in the closing laps, the final lap of that race had just come off a caution, and as you can see, Kyle Larson, the 32, the white car, he's a rookie. This is his first Nationwide Series event. Gets airborne. It's one of those things where restrictor plate tracks, high rates of speed, very close together, and you get in these packs where there's a lot of draft coming off the cars that don't sit well with the drivers. It's hard to steer and hard to get around. What was unusual was that car came apart. Okay. A lot of times these cars, especially in the Nationwide Series, are kind of the guinea pigs for what we see in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. But this all led to a new version of a car that came out this year. So these Nationwide cars aren't as up to date as the Sprint Cup cars. They don't. The Sprint Cup cars actually have chains attached inside the chassis to the tires, so that tires don't come off like they did the Nationwide Series, like what we saw on Saturday.
Okay, now does these recent events in NASCAR tend to lose interest in spectators and even people wanting to get involved in the sport?
If there's anything that'll bring the sport back to where it was really 4 and 5 years ago, it's these tracks. It's these tracks like Daytona and Talladega, the super speedway tracks where we see a lot of this pack racing, a lot of close tight-knit action, and crashes like these, as spectacular as they are for the fans, they are dangerous, and that's something that NASCAR has adapted to with the new Gen 6 car that we're seeing in the Sprint Cup Series this year.
Okay, and I understand that NASCAR is an extremely wealthy corporation. So does any liability fall back onto the drivers or to the corporation itself?
Not to the drivers. These drivers assume the risk when they these race cars. That's what they're paid big money to do. As far as NASCAR and their liability, the fans take a chance, as they do at any sporting event, to go to these events and see these cars race, and there always is a risk. There always is a risk. And this has happened before. This happened in 2010 at Talladega, which is Daytona's sister track. But the fence was raised since 2010 at these tracks to 22 feet. So they're trying to implement safety measures for these high rate speed tracks. But it's like sitting at a basketball game underneath the hoop and you have LeBron James maybe get fouled hard and he's coming right at you. There's nothing they can do.
Okay. Tony Stewart was at the race this past Saturday. Here's what he had to say about it.
I've never seen anything like that. I mean, we've seen Petty, we've seen a lot of big ones here, and I've been a part of a couple big ones here, but I've never seen anything like that. That's one of the times when I wish I didn't have a rear view mirror, because that was an ugly sight.
That's pretty. He was in attendance, so he kind of felt what we didn't feel, what we seen at home. How would you have felt if you were actually there? Would you have been scared, or what type of things? What would your emotions be like?
Sure, I think at first it's shock. It's scared. These are sharp. I mean, when a car comes apart like that, this is sheet metal and very small and sharp pieces that are flying into the stands. The tires are 60 pounds. They can be up to 140 degrees when they come off these tracks. I mean, they get very hot. There's oil that, if the car is coming apart, there's oil that's being sprayed in the stands. That's very hot. You will get burned. I mean, that's what some of these injuries were. And Tony Stewart actually won that race, and he saw the whole thing happen in his rearview mirror.
Okay.
So
now I know you have a radio show coming up as well. Could you give us a brief summary about that?
Sure.
What's going on with that?
It's Full Throttle Radio. It's on WBGU-FM 88.1 on every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. We talk to a lot of cool people. We've talked to Daytona 5 winner in 2011, Trevor Bayne, Hall of Fame, will be a Hall of Famer crew chief, Larry McReynolds, Justin Allgaier, a lot of guys in the Nationwide Series that raced in that race. Justin Allgaier was really a part of that wreck on Saturday. So we talked to a lot of cool people tonight. We're going to be reviewing the Daytona 500, the Nationwide wreck, and going into Phoenix.
Okay. Maybe I can get a spot on your show or something one day.
Absolutely. We always encourage people to come watch.
Okay, definitely. Coming up next on BG24 Sports, highlight from men's basketball and ice hockey. Also, we'll have the details of women's basketball matchup against Miami. All that and more coming up next on BG24 Sports. Welcome back to BG24 Sports. I'm Thomas James. Men's basketball hosted New Orleans last Thursday at the Stroh Center. Early in the first half, Luke Cross makes up for an easy three on Chauncey Orr's pass. Here's a nice backdoor alley-oop to Rashawn from Jordan Crawford. BG up 18-10 early. Off the inbound pass, Jordan Crawford sizes up. He comes off the pick and shoots an easy three. Now New Orleans comes down in the corner. They shoot a wide open three-pointer uncontested. Off of Chauncey Orr's penetrating kick leaves a wide open Jordan Crawford for another three. There's no defense around on the Falcons. The Falcons go up early. In the second half, Chauncey Orr wide open in the corner. He hits another three. The threes continue to drop for the Falcons. On the easy dish, there it is. Rashawn again with another dunk. Another pass leaves a wide open for another three. He hits it again. The Falcons are having their way. Javon Clark. Now here's Leish with another three from the corner. He sinks it. Men's basketball beat New Orleans 87-56. The Falcons took the court again as they hit the road to play Indiana Purdue at Fort Wayne on Saturday. BG could not continue to host this team as the IPFW won 88-75. The Falcons will take the court again as they host Miami tomorrow night at 7. BG Ice Hockey hosted Northern Michigan for their last home series of the season. The Wildcats get an early power play goal to put them up 1-0. Now the Falcons are down 2-0, and yet another goal gets past Tommy Pert to put Northern Michigan University up. The 3-0 lead gives Northern Michigan a top of the BG Falcons in the second period. BG finally gets on the board. Connor Kostra shoots a deep goal and assist from Andrew Wallace. Falcons are now down 3-1. About a minute later, BG up on the power play, Mike Sullivan to Dejan Mingo, and he shoots and he scores it. The Falcons still end up losing 5-2.
I want to lose my mind, but That doesn't seem to work. So we'll go back to work. I'll have to trust that our guys will respond tomorrow. That's all we can do now, is put this behind us.
The next night, here's how the Falcons responded. On the senior night, in front of almost 4,000 fans, Northern Michigan comes out with an early lead again. BG down 1-0. Then BG comes on a power play from Connor Corsiero, finds Andrew Wallace for the goal. Falcons tie it up 1-1. Next, Ralph Freiberges to Wallace to Ben Murphy for the score. BG up 2-1. BG goes up 3-1 in the second with the slap shot by Ryan Carpenter. In the third, BG up 3-1. Northern Michigan University puts it in to tie it up. But Bobby Shea will later snag a goal in this breakaway by Brett Moeller with 1 second left, no one's at the goal, and he scores. How the tables have turned. BG has won this game 5-3. BG goes to win it. Their final regular season game of the year will be against Notre Dame. This will determine if the Falcons will be able to have a playoff game in BG. One BG win will again against the Fighting Irish will allow them to host their first playoff series next weekend. Over to women's basketball. The Falcons travel to Oxford to take on Miami University. Junior Jillian Halfhill led BG with a career high of 23 points. Her efforts were not enough to put the Falcons atop of the Red Hawks as Miami came out on top 76-61. With the loss, BG falls to 17-9 overall and 8-5 in the MAC. The Falcons will take the court again this Thursday as they host the University of Buffalo. Tip-off is at 7. That's all for BG24 Sports. I'm Thomas James. We'll be right back.
And that's it for BG24 News.
Have a great night, everyone. See you Thursday.